um, all the municipal leaders. So good morning, everybody. My name is Jennifer Marr. I'm the chairwoman of the Putnam County Business Council, and welcome to Business Talk Back. And today we are talking about a municipal marketing case study that was initiated by Yorktown Supervisor Matt Slater and Thomson and Bender. And we have with us, of course, Supervisor Matt Slater from Yorktown, and we have Valerie Hovespan. Sorry, did I do it too bad?
Hovesapien, that's fine.
And Elizabeth Bracken Thomson from Thomson and Bender as well, and some other of their teammates will be joining us. Later on, we also have on, right now, we only have the panelists up here, but we also have EDC President Kathleen Abels will be joining us, Bill Milk from the Industrial Development Agency, and Tracy Walsh from Tourism, and I believe Amy Sage, who is the former economic chairwoman of the Legislative Priority. I'm sorry, I have like supervisors texting me saying, I don't have the link. Lisa, all right, give me 1 second, everybody. Sorry about this.
Text me who needs the link or chat,
He has the link. Kenny Schmidt. I'm going to text you his cell phone number right now. Gotta love Kenny.
You leave my fellow supervisor alone.
Well, I always make him jealous when I talk about you. It's really, it's hilarious. I always say, the younger, better looking supervisor, blah, blah, blah.
But he's taller, but he's much taller. Don't forget that.
We love him. Okay. So, I also want to thank our sponsors that make all this possible. Tompkins Mahopac Bank has been one of our principal sponsors for the last 10 years, and they are just amazing, and we really appreciate them. And John Schneider from Schneider Financial Group, J. Phillip Commercial, and also Lisa, of course, of Prosper Communications. So why this presentation? Well, number one, we want to focus on things that are moving forward. And this initiative, when I watched it go down, Matt, it was just great. We need this kind of positive energy. And with businesses, it's sort of like people are really, really, really hurting, or they're making big, bold moves. And so I am there and big believer in big, bold moves, especially when things are depressed a little, So obviously, we know that at least two Putnam County towns are looking to update their comprehensive plans to ensure that it reflects the 21st century needs. We also know Envision Brewster was a big project that was been trying to happen for a couple of years. I'm not sure where it's at during this COVID pandemic that we're going through, and also other supervisors that are supposed to be coming on board. I know we're supposed to have Southeast, Carmel, Putnam Valley, and Patterson today, and hopefully Cold Spring and Phillipstown. So I want to turn it over to you guys. So we just want to have a conversation that's going to sort of maybe spark some ideas that I know everybody's already working tirelessly to bring business to Putnam County. So this is just something that we can talk about that can perhaps enhance everybody's efforts. So let's hear what you guys are doing. I guess I'll turn it over to you, Matt.
Sure, Jen, thanks. It's great to spend the morning with everybody. Again, Matt Slater, Town Supervisor for the town of Yorktown. This started I started a Reboot Yorktown task force when we hit COVID. Yep. And we saw everything shut down. And that was really to position us to put us in position to respond as strongly as we could once the veil of COVID was lifted and we were able to start, getting back into business again. And so part of that task force included small businesses, Chamber of Commerce, small business owners, obviously, our great team from Thomson and Bender, who've just been phenomenal for our town. I can't speak highly enough of them. And we had other elected officials, county elected officials. And it was we had our planning board chairman, our zoning board chairman, our town planner was involved. And so we were able to have a really comprehensive conversation about what we could do as a municipality to make it easier to do business with our town. And so for the municipalities that are about to embark on updating your master plan, we're going to be doing the same. To be honest with you, that's one of our things that we're going to be doing next year. Is updating our master plan. Our master plan was passed in 2010, so it's already a decade old, and obviously a lot's changed since 2010, and the data itself predates 2010. So it really needs to be updated, which is one of the things I wanted to accomplish coming into office. So we kind of put the cart before the horse in that aspect. But one of the things that our comprehensive plan did have, we did have what's called design districts, plan design districts, which are overlay districts, something that we've written our legislative foundation for. It's been referred out already. On Tuesday, we're going to set the public hearing for October 20th. And that's really sparked a ton of interest in the community, coupled with the Destination Y campaign that Thomson and Bender have put together for us. I actually added, Liz, you'll be happy to know, I added about 5 new stickers to some storefronts yesterday. So coupled with the Destination Y campaign, we're starting to see just a lot of interest in the town, from residential development to commercial development to businesses. I had to the point where I had one person reach out to us. They were looking to move from New York City into Westchester. It was a manufacturing company. They were looking for 200,000 square feet for 500 employees. Fact of the matter is, we don't even have anything that big in the town. But that's the kind of interest and conversations that we're having almost on a daily basis. I mean, it seems like every day I'm having a conversation with either an existing property owner about redeveloping one of their properties here in the town, or people who want to come into the town. Like yesterday, we were meeting with some commercial brokers who want to really highlight Yorktown and push some of their clients to our community. So I think the Destination Y campaign, which I know Liz and Val are going to get into, coupled with the design districts, have, I think, really, to what you said earlier, Jen, you want to talk about bold steps. I mean, it was a really strong 1-2 punch that we were able to land. And I'm very confident that we're going to see a very, very soon too, we're going to see some great products that have come about because of those that 1-2 punch.
Great. Valerie, you want to?
Yes, I'll share my screen.
So thank you, Matt, so much for that introduction. And we're so pleased to be here as part of Matt's team. As he mentioned, we're Thomson and Bender. We're an advertising and public relations agency. We've been around for 30 years. It's hard to believe. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. We're based in Briarcliff, New York. And my partners and I are all Westchester County born and bred. And we really understand Westchester in particular, although we represent clients throughout the New York metro market. That said, economic development is one of our sweet spots. And we've worked with the Westchester County Department of Economic Development over the years, the Westchester County IDA, the Yonkers Department of IDA, as well as the Yonkers Development District, and had many roles in economic development. We're so excited to be working with Matt, who is so visionary and so easy to work with. And what we love about him, and from a supervisor perspective, you can't ask for more than that, because he's open to ideas, he makes things happen, and he implements them, and he's quick. And that's really a key. So hats off to you, Matt. We put together this campaign that addressed the issues that Yorktown was facing, which was to get the word out that they had made all of these new design districts and made it easier for people to get plans approved and to move quickly. And also that Yorktown is so close to New York City. We realized that, and we've seen it all, that during COVID, so many employees were working remotely from home. So many of the employees that worked for companies based in Manhattan were actually working from their home. And the companies then realized, hey, why are we paying all this rent in downtown New York City when we can be finding satellite offices in the northern part of our area, specifically Westchester County. And we wanted to make sure that those businesses and those commercial real estate brokers knew that Yorktown was a destination that would welcome them. So that was the point of the campaign. The next slide here is positioning in the minds of those developers, of those commercial real estate brokers, of those company owners, that Yorktown as a community is open for business and that we've streamlined the processes and put them in place. And that was our goal. So here's our target audience. We weren't going to spread this around to everyone. We had a limited budget, so we wanted to be very focused in who we were speaking to. So our target audience were business owners and executives who live in Westchester and who are looking for those suburban satellite offices. Also real estate developers that are in Westchester, but also regional. And then of course, commercial real estate brokers who are being asked by their clients to find them some satellite offices outside of New York City, nearer where their employees work. Our geo target was obviously targeting those New York City based companies, and of course Westchester County as well, for the reasons I just said. And timing, we launched the campaign in August and we're ending in November. So the next slide shows you what our messaging was. So what are we messaging? We wanted to make it simple to communicate to our target audience that Yorktown offers streamlined municipal approval processes, shovel-ready sites with zoning in place, all the things that Matt and his great team put in place, development locations that have pre-approved zoning in key locations throughout the town, a wide diversity of existing retail, warehouse, and office locations, and most importantly, a safe environment. Yorktown's ranked in the top as one of the top 100 safest towns in the United States. So here was our PR rollout to spread the word. We announced the launch of the new marketing campaign and continued to push out news stories and communications about how Yorktown was open for business and the growth in Yorktown. We spotlighted businesses in our monthly town newsletter that had made the move or expanding or planning to move, and we promoted it all on social media, Facebook Live, IGTV, and all the social media platforms. We held a press conference, all with masks, socially distant, on the steps of Yorktown Town Hall. We got a lot of media coverage for the event, and we unveiled here our logo, which is Destination Y. If you can go back to that slide, Val, I just want to also mention that our tagline was Yorktown, up where you belong. And we unveiled it. We had a lot of influentials. Obviously, the town board was there, merchants from the town who wanted to participate in the open for business message, as well as influentials like the head of the Business Council of Westchester, you know, the head of the Hudson Valley Hospital was there. You know, a lot of influentials from the community.
Right.
And then on slide number 8, the next slide, some of the coverage we got. We were on News 12, you know, we were in the Journal News, we were in the Examiner, and here covered in the Westchester Fairfield Business Journal. There's the lowhud.com story. We were kind of everywhere and continued to push out those stories. Here's another low HUD story. Yorktown reports wave of new interest in development. Find out why. That was a great news story when we started getting responses. Another unveiling of the overlay district that helped Yorktown draw new interest. So these are just some of the examples that you'll see here. Another low HUD story that we pushed out about Yorktown. The new home improvement showroom is slated for the former bank. Wanted to keep people aware that things were happening. And then slide number 12, another low HUD story, Yorktown Planning Board approves Nestle Waters distribution site. We also got that story in Westchester Magazine and 914 Inc., the fact that Nestle Waters had moved there, and then in the Westchester Fairfield Business Journal, here you see clips. So, you know, we got the buzz out there that things were happening. Okay, now we'll move on to the actual marketing campaign that we put together. And as I mentioned before at our launch, this was our logo, Destination Y. Yorktown, up where you belong. And that circle that you see there, Destination Y, became an iconic logo that we created into peel and cling, window cling stickers. And we handed them out to all the different merchants in town to put in their windows so people could start to see there was, you know, support. Here's some examples of the Destination Y window cling, and people start to see it, get a sense of pride in the town. The next slide that you see here are actual digital ads, and Debbie Pizzino, who's our media director, is also participating in the call. If anyone has any questions later, she can answer them, but she's our genius on how we select the media and really target those dollars. So we wanted to show in these animated digital ads that Yorktown had a lot of different locations, and we wanted to show that map because we wanted people to understand that Yorktown, in position to New York City and Yorktown, that it's only 38 miles north of New York City. A lot of people think, I heard you talking before, Jennifer, about how people think of Carmel as being upstate. You know, people think of Yonkers as upstate, but in fact, you know, we're only 38, Yorktown's only 38 miles north of New York City. Hey, right? And we messaged in all of our ads, we showed different examples of corporate space, warehouse space, retail space. These are real places in our digital ads, by the way, that are in Yorktown, and different messaging. And these were animated. Make your move to Yorktown, expedited approval process, flexible zoning, a variety of commercial sites and spaces, Yorktown, up where you belong. And then our banner ad, which also was animated, that showed that we were ranked in the top 100 safest towns in the US, but it also was animated to talk about all those other messages that you see in those other digital ads. And on any of these ads, if you click on them, it brings you right to a landing page that we developed.
Which
Here
I'm
is
going to share in them right now.
Hold on.
Yep. And so if you clicked on any of those digital ads you saw, it would bring you to this, because we didn't want to mix it all up into the homepage of Yorktown. We want to make it easy for the consumer. So we show in the top part, if you scroll back to the top, Val, we showed again examples of the mix of what we offer in Yorktown, from commercial office space to beautiful outdoor lands, recreation. And our message here is that something's happening here. It's Yorktown's accessible, affordable, ready to put your business on the fast track with expedited approvals. Again, we talk about the shovel-ready sites, permit zoning, and commercial sites. And then we dug a little deeper into the accessible location for people from New York City who might not know about our accessibility, about all of our transportation options. Also, affordable space. And the message here, you get twice the space at half the cost of New York City, as well as all the diversified office space. And then this is the key, we're gonna fast track your approvals thanks to Matt. He's there to help you. And then we made this message and promise, we will respond to every inquiry, just contact us. And there's two people we put here. We put Matt and we put John Tegeter, our Director of Planning, with their phone numbers and with their emails. And then if you scroll down a little further, we showed our fabulous town board, of course, in their masks, and then just a call to action of let's make it happen, asking them if they wanted to just fill out a form rather than make a call, they could. And
We've
all the
we've
forms.
had quite a few of those forms filled out, and as soon as we get them, we immediately respond. I mean, it's been very productive, quite frankly.
I bet.
And then, you know, just for more information, wanted them to get more information about Yorktown itself, what it's like, where it is in proximity to New York City and the rest of the New York tri-state area with that map. Believe it or not, we think that's important, you know, for New York City people to understand how close we are. And then Matt's planned design overlay districts. And by clicking on the view press releases, you could see more of the press that we garnered, which is also, you know, gives more credibility to our initiative. And then our stats, Yorktown by the numbers, population, airports, transportation, et cetera, average household income. And then, you know, our final logo at the bottom of the simple landing page. So we thought we condensed everything that was necessary and made it easy for people. And we were going to measure success, by the way, on how many people we drove to this landing page. How many people saw our ad, clicked through, and went to this landing page. That's how we were going to measure our success. So next, Val's going to kind of show you in the PowerPoint a little more detail on how we did this. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Val, before we move on? You see, we actually used that Destination Y logo. We used it in different colors. We created banners in town, the messages of live, work, and play. It was colorful, it was vibrant. If you drive into Yorktown, you see them on all the light poles facing Town Hall. Again, just a reminder to the town, we talked about our window clings, and we talked about our e-newsletter, which goes to every town resident and spotlights businesses that are moving there or planning to move there. Now, I'm going to talk about, so how did we do? We spent this money, we put it all together. Here was our tactics and our budget. So here was our marketing mix. I showed you the goal is Yorktown is open for business. We use digital advertising. We use out-of-home signage. Those are the flags and the window clings. We created that landing page I showed you. We use paid social media to share the news and the PR, the news stories that you saw. We were in the in-market mid-August to mid-November. Our targets I reviewed already. Our geography I reviewed already, New York City and Westchester County. And here is our total budget, $40,707. And to be perfectly honest, that's a very low budget. I mean, public information, the city of Yonkers spends $350,000 a year on their advertising to market them as a great place to do business. So we really maximize this budget. And on slide 25, which you'll see is our strategy, was 100% focus on digital with strong targeting to our target market of business and real estate folks in New York City and Westchester, with multiple touch points, increasing the reach and frequency. That's seeing our ad many times, hoping to get them to click through to our landing page. And
Liz, real quick, just for my other elected officials, one of the reasons that we were so adamant about the digital focus, obviously when you're spending taxpayer dollars, there's got to be some accountability. And so we're able to measure, and you'll see in the next couple slides, we're able to measure and show our taxpayers what exactly those dollars are going towards. And you can't do that with your traditional print ads and so on and so forth. And that's why we thought it was really important as a board. We thought it was really important to be able to, whatever we do, whatever method we use to implement, that that we were able to measure that.
100%, Matt. Okay, this just shows you the flow chart that we put together from mid-August through mid-November, the different tactics, and how we were, when we said multiple touch points, we were always in market at some point with PR or digital ads or outdoor, touching our target audience. And then on slide 27, oh, sorry, these are the results. So, we only ran digital ads, as Matt said, in the Westchester County Business Journal. The second column, you see, I'm going to go through the media partners. The second column is the total impressions. And for those who don't know what impressions means, that's eyeballs. How many eyeballs did we get on our ads? The open rate, that's how many people actually opened our ad. And then how many click-throughs to the website, and then the click-through rate to date. So Westchester Fairfield Business Journal, Westchester County Business Journal, we had over 120,000 impressions, eyeballs, if you will. Here's where our ad was featured on what they call the digital leaderboard. That's around all of the news at noon announcements that goes out to all of their subscribers. And it again is our target audience. These are business owners, developers, commercial real estate people. And our total impressions just for this from August 10th through September 16th, that was our last reporting period, was over 500,000 impressions, over 500,000 eyeballs. The open rate was 12.53%. And let me just,
We've got more to go.
we got more to go, but that's an incredible open rate. And then the click-throughs to our landing page, 244 people actually clicked through to our landing page, and the click-through rate was 1.8%. And from a benchmark perspective, a really good click-through rate is 0.5%. So we were clearly targeting the right audience. And we hope to have over 1 million impressions, by the way. We also advertise in Cranes on a digital basis because Cranes is our target audience, those people I talked about before. You see where we ran in Cranes on the run of site banner ads, and that again was only through, this reporting's through September 16th. We were featured on the Real Estate Daily and the Cranes Daily newsletters, had over 200,000 impressions, 111 click-throughs, with a really good click-through rate, which is the average click-through rate. And we hope to have over 450,000 impressions when we're done. And you see where the two ads are. We also ran in the Real Deal. And for those of you in real estate, this is the Bible of the commercial real estate industry. And again, we ran examples here, our run of site banner ads. Total impressions were 186,944 with total clicks of 291. This was interesting. And this was what we wanted. Almost half of all the clicks were from Manhattan. 30% were from Brooklyn. And then 24% were scattered across Westchester and Queens. That was a total of 71 clicks. So I was really excited about this because this is what we wanted. We wanted folks in New York City, and it worked. So that was exciting. And then we did all these Facebook posts. This was paid social advertising. And here's some examples of that. And we had really good engagement. On the first ad you see there, just an example, we had over 1,500 engagements. That means people did something with that ad. They forwarded it to a friend, they shared it 17 times, they commented on it 14 times, and they clicked to link clicked to our landing page 848 times. I mean, that was really great. And you see similar numbers for the second example we shared with you, with 10 shares and 243 link clicks and 4,000 video views with a reach of over 9,000 people. That's just for that one post. So we're really thrilled with those results. And then here were our key learnings and insights that our highly targeted media partners were in fact delivering significant traffic to our site. We had over 646 total clicks over a five-week period. That all the media partners, they boosted above our benchmark click-through rates, and the Real Deal and Westchester County Business Journal were our strongest. And then the geo-targeting of IP addresses in New York City and Westchester via the Real Deal really allow us to hone in on the most important target markets. And the use of the boosted posts on Facebook proved to be an efficient way to reach the local community. As I said before, we had 29,000 people engaged with our social media posts, and gotten over 1,000 clicks to our website through those paid social posts. And that the residents are engaging with our posts by clicking and commenting, and that we continue to include our geo-targeting and grow.
Oh,
So
sorry.
that's okay, Val. No, that's good. I mean, I mean, there's so much we're learning through this. It's clearly working, and we have great insights, and we're going to maintain our presence right through the end of our campaign in November, and then we're going to do a real assessment of, you know, where are we, what worked, how do we want to even get a little more targeted.
And Liz, if I could, the other thing that we've learned, and you can speak directly about this because of the cider mill, is the importance also of Google ads, which is something that we're not currently doing, but that could be like a next chapter in this process, because I can tell, and I'm sure Putnam County's seeing the same results, but I'm hearing from all of our farms in Yorktown. And for those who don't know, Liz and her husband Jeff run the Thomson cider mill off of Blinn Road in the southern part of town. They're seeing record numbers this October. They've already seen this fall. They've already seen it. And when people ask, and Liz, if you want to speak directly about this, you can. But when they ask them how they find them, they're just Googling places to go, whether it's apple picking, apples, hard cider, or whatever it might be. And that's where they're getting a lot of their information from. So playing off of that and getting some Google ads also initiated, I think would be very useful for the next round of advertising that we do, because we're seeing it's driving people to our community, especially out of the city.
Absolutely, Matt. To Matt's point, think about it. People are glued to their screens, either their mobile phones, their laptops, or their desktops. They're glued to it. And whereas it used to be they're in their cars driving to meetings, going to work, in the office, now they're just sitting in front of these screens. And if something occurs to them and they want to find something, a good example being in their free time, hey, the weather's going to be nice, let's get out of the city. What are they going to do? They're going to search. They're going to do a search of apple cider mills near New York City, or farms near New York City. Put in any keyword you guys can think of, that's what they're doing. And I have seen we've been in business for 40 years. We have cider mill in Yorktown, and we hear this from all of our other cider mill friends like Wilkins and Stewart's and Outhouse Orchards and Harvest Moon, and they're seeing record crowds. And when I ask people who show up in my cider mill on Saturday and Sunday, so where are you from? Half of the crowd is from New York City. And out of that half crowd of New York City, mostly Manhattan and Brooklyn, but some Queens. I get Queens people too, and Long Island, but mostly Manhattan and Brooklyn. And then I say to them, how did you find us? Oh, we searched the closest cider mill to New York City. And if you search closest cider mill to New York City, you'll see Thomson Cider Mill comes up. So, and then there'll be other search. So to Matt's point, and we're doing this for a lot of our clients now, is we're doing paid search engine optimization, search engine marketing. That's what we're doing now. And that's to put you first, to put you forward, as people might search office locations outside of New York City, office locations within 30 miles of New York City, or whatever they might put in, commercial real estate sites outside north of New York City or in the suburbs. So to your point, yes, we're going to start exploring paid search engine optimization, search engine marketing, SEO, SEM.
Right, and for our elected officials also, that comes with metrics that are measurable, that you can report back to your investors or your taxpayers, so they know what their dollars are going towards and what the result is, which is, I think from an elected official standpoint, the critical component of that as well.
Absolutely.
So what you're going to see next isn't necessarily a plan on what's next. We just included a few slides of some tactics we weren't able to include in our budget, but it was part of our creative at the time. So we just thought we'd leave them in. One thing was direct mail. We didn't have, it's very targeted. So in that way, it'd be a great way to reach real estate brokers. However, they currently weren't working out of their offices. So for that reason, and because we weren't having enough budget to do multiple direct mails, we decided to put that on hold. So that's just an example of the direct mail we might have done. Here's some examples of print ads. Once again, we went with something that was trackable, measurable. So these are some print ads showing the diversity of space. And then lastly, we talked about possibly expanding into tourism, like we've just been talking about, why some people come to this area for apple picking, you know, biking, hiking, al fresco dining, etc. So
Fabulous.
just have it.
Great stuff. Matt, I'm not sure if you had mentioned this. I don't think you did. How did you raise the money?
Frankly, we took it out of the town's budget. You know, it was a municipal investment.
Yep.
Something that, again, our task force, our Reboot Yorktown task force, felt very strongly about, and the town board recognized the opportunity that was in front of us. Again, considering the environment that COVID had created.
Yep.
And so we felt that it was, you know, if we're serious about attracting new businesses to Yorktown, you got to let them know you're here. And so that's why we made the decision to pull the trigger. And you know, it's been, I think overall, it's been very successful.
Excellent. We have some of our task force members on today just for that very reason. So we do have Putnam County Economic Development Corporation President Kathleen Abels with us. We have former economic chairwoman of the Putnam County Legislature. She's still a legislator, but she also still works with our group, Amy Sage. We have Industrial Development Agency, Bill Nolk, and we have Supervisor Rich Williams from Patterson, and also Supervisor from Town of Carmel, Kenny Schmidt. Kenny, I told Matt all about how you get jealous when I talk about him. So if you guys have anything you would like to add or any questions, I'd love to hear from you.
And Jay, can I just talk about, we also mentioned in the streamline process, one of the things that we also did was we created a portal to request pre-application meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't have to waste time and money if it's a project that is going to, you know, hit roadblocks or anything. We're very open about that. We have had quite a few people take advantage of it, both from a commercial standpoint and residential standpoint. And they can go on our website and they can request a meeting with myself, our town planner, our town engineer, our building inspector, you know, any departments that they feel would be necessary to have a pre-application meeting with. And we give them, you know, our quick assessment of the project and help lead them in the right direction. So no one's wasting time or money trying to get the project off the ground. So that's one of the ways that we've improved that process. And then also with the overlay districts, we're seeing it also down in Mount Kisco. When we're moving forward with the overlay districts and we start talking about specific districts we've got in different hamlets, because Yorktown, like Carmel, has different business hamlets. We're also tasking our planning board with some pre-approval steps as well. So, for instance, we've got Bear Mountain Triangle. You know, so the planning board, if and when it gets approved, that specific overlay zone, they may go and take the next steps and start pre-approving to the best of their ability. You know, what they think would be a good fit for that specific parcel. So you're saving money for the developer side, you're saving time on the developer side, and you're streamlining that process as well. So that's some of the things that we're looking at currently in regards to the process.
It's fabulous.
And also just in regards to the community, I can tell you that people are really, there is a buzz. I think people are really excited about some of the things that they're seeing. It's something new, it's something fresh. And again, like I said, we're seeing the results, you know, with Nestle Waters coming onto 202. You know, hopefully we get to announce this specialty grocer soon. So there's also results that we're seeing that's just helping the hype and build the confidence in the community that we're competing. So that's the other side of the coin.
Well, I hope it's Trader Joe's. That's all I have to say. I also forgot.
I'm waiting too.
Also, Tracy Walsh is with us from Putnam County Tourism. So I do have some questions, but actually, Ken, do you want to, if Ken Schmidt, if you can speak on a little bit of what you have going on in Carmel?
Sure. So can everybody see and hear me?
We can not see you, but we can hear you.
You can't see me.
I know
Okay.
because you're not as young and good looking as Matt Slater. We are.
I am not. I'm very jealous of Matt.
He's much taller though.
I'm a little taller, and Matt and I've known each other for quite some time now. And you know, I was thrilled when I heard Matt was running for supervisor over in the town of Yorktown, because I knew that Yorktown was going to be getting an excellent leader, and he's been doing an amazing job over there. And I am definitely jealous of him. But I really enjoy having him as a supervisor to the south of Carmel. So it's southwest of Carmel, but we are neighbors.
Yep.
And you know, I'm really interested in some of the things that Matt has been able to accomplish and the initiatives that have taken place under Matt's leadership. One of them being Destination Yorktown, and I've been following that, and it's getting a lot of rave reviews out there, you know, from the town of Yorktown folks. And I'd like to do something like that over here in the town of Carmel, and I guess we'd call it Destination C, Matt. So I'd like to learn a lot more about this initiative, and I think it's a great marketing campaign over there in the town of Yorktown, and I think it's something that we could do over here in Carmel. Because Matt, as you said earlier, we do have two separate and distinct commercial corridors and hamlets in Carmel.
Yeah.
We need to promote it more. You know, we need to be able to, you know, attract new businesses that might perhaps be interested in relocating here. And we are excited though about the distillery that's in the works here for Carmel. And I think that's going to be, you know, a motivating tool, so to speak, for other businesses perhaps that may want to relocate here. And the distillery is going forward. I spoke to the operators of it just the other day. They purchased the property, so they're the owners of the Paladin Center location. And they've submitted building plans for the construction of their facility. And they're moving forward with it. So we're excited about that. And I think that's going to be a good shot in the arm for Carmel. And hopefully it's going to lure other businesses to this area. So that's still moving forward, and that's great for the hamlet of Carmel. And let me just speak a little bit about down here in the hamlet of Mahopac. We have our Route 6 corridor, our business district, and the Route 6 corridor. The issue that we have with our Route 6 corridor from downtown Mahopac west to the town line, which is 118 and Route 6, is that it's not sewered. Yeah. We don't have a sewer main down that way. So there's about 3.5 miles of Route 6 business corridor, if you will, that's not sewered. But I am happy to report that we've been in negotiations with the New York City DEP, and we've just restarted them again. So I'm hoping, and I'm very encouraged by what I'm hearing, that, you know, maybe, you know, in the near future, the town of Carmel will have an arrangement with the DEP, or an agreement with the DEP, that we're going to be able to sewer that corridor. And if we do, that's going to open up a lot of, you know, properties that are currently located on that 3.5 mile stretch of Route 6 that currently, you know, can only be developed using subsurface septic systems. And, you know, larger businesses that would perhaps be interested in that area, that it's not right. It's not capable now of those businesses being built in that area and servicing that area. So we're moving forward with that, but I'm really interested in your initiative there, your marketing campaign. And I know John Tegeter, I spoke to John, he's an excellent planner, and I know that he works very well with the town. So that's something that we really need to also try to you know, get involved with, is our planner. But Matt, we're also in the process of redoing our master plan.
Yep.
So we're 9 months into reworking our comprehensive plan, and we're in parallel to that is our code revisions as well. So we're looking at that very hard. We may have to, and we probably will be making some changes to our code that would adapt to the new master plan, because we really need to lure new businesses here, and we really need to create housing for our younger population, which we don't have, or millennials, if you will. They're leaving here in droves. They're going to larger cities for housing, but we really need to look hard at creating housing for our millennials and our young professional groups. And retail, to be honest with you, there's a retail component to that too, because as you know, our younger population, they don't like to travel anywhere too far. They'd like to be within walking distance of our downtowns, and that's something we're looking at with our master plan as well. So things are happening in Carmel, but I think with this particular initiative that you've instituted in Yorktown, I think that's something that we could certainly use here in Carmel, and I want to learn more about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kenny. And I'm recording this so I can play it back to you every 2 months.
Okay. Definitely, Jen. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do, in all seriousness. Rich Williams, do you want to speak up on anything or ask any questions or give any comments? I know he's there.
So am I muted still or not? Am I on?
No, we can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, likewise, I just want to echo Kenny's sentiments. It's a very interesting proposal that, I'd like to learn more about. It certainly sparked an interest, especially on the digital side with me. I also want to echo Kenny's sentiments about how lucky Yorktown is in having Matt down there, because I've known Matt for quite some time, and they're very fortunate. So
Thanks, Rich.
Some of the initiatives that you talked about, Patterson's been pursuing for some time, like the shovel ready and trying to encourage people to get things ready for development on their sites, not waiting. And we've been successful in getting some of that done. One of the problems we still find in the town of Patterson, and it seems to be a growing problem, is having the cooperation of state agencies.
Yeah.
In the past, state agencies, I think, were more willing to work with local communities and trying to get new businesses within our communities. And as of late, it seems they just want to throw up every roadblock they can possibly throw up. So at some point, maybe the supervisors all need to get together, and or the county executives, and have a conversation about what we can do to encourage our state leadership and our state agencies to be more cooperative in working with us. I know I've got 3 projects right now that the town found very favorable. They pushed them through, and they are all stalled because of the state DOT. And
I've got the same issues with DEP, which I know you are very familiar with. So.
Very familiar.
Yes. Yeah. Good saying, but I'm very honest with our applicants, Rich, if it makes any difference. I tell them that we'll get them through as fast as we can, but obviously when it gets to the next level with some of the other agencies like DEP and DOT, that's a different game, but we're always willing to help. So, we try to manage expectations that way, but I agree. I think maybe it's worth having a collective conversation with all the supervisors, for DOT and DEP, because I've got two projects that are already with town approval that are just sitting because DEP can't get out of our way, just like you're dealing with DOT.
Right.
Gotta love those Ds.
And yeah,
well,
and I got to say, you're right. I've got a lot of experience with the DEP, and in the past, the DEP has been horrific. But as of late, they have not been the issue. The issue has been the DEC and the DOT.
Yeah.
I've got the DEC told an applicant that they wanted a bog turtle survey out of a parking lot. Yeah, it was just bizarre.
Yeah. Well, I want to just throw in, Rich, Patterson is very lucky to have you. Kenny, Carmel is lucky to have you. I'm really glad that you guys were on today. I want to just get to Kathleen and Tracy and Bill Nolk. If you guys have any thing you want to add to this, or Amy Sage.
Hi, this is Kathleen speaking. Regarding your DEPs and DECs, at the beginning of today's program, someone had mentioned Envision Brewster. the linchpin for that project is a land swap between the county and New York City Department of Environment. And that's just what's choking that. If that can ever be pushed through, in my experience, dealing with New York City DEP, they move like at the speed of a glacier, but that's what's holding that project up. I also wanted to mention, now that I'm on the east side of the county, that the town of Southeast is looking at a new master plan for the Route 22 corridor. One of the things I'd like to see is more mixed use. Matt, I've been watching your project. I love the overlay district concept. You guys don't have a train station. However, the concept of having sidewalks and bike-friendly places, it just gives a nice downtown buzz to it. I think that's a great idea. I'm also keeping an eye on Mount Kisco. I think they're doing something similar.
They are, yeah.
Have a large mixed-use project. It is transit-based, which makes me nervous at a time period when nobody's getting on the train. But other than that, I mean, people, if you're not taking public transportation and you don't like to drive, well, then you need to be in a place where you can walk, right? It's safe, it's healthy for you. And Kenny, you had mentioned housing for younger people. Poughkeepsie was doing a big project. They were constructing rental units along the river with hopes of attracting millennials. So, we're watching that one as well. That's pretty much all I have. So I will turn it back to you, Jen.
The other thing, just real quick, is that it's not just millennials; it's our seniors. I'm sure.
Exactly.
They got my mom's. I always say my mom's a perfect example. She's looking to downsize at this point, but she's got nowhere to downsize to. That's in the town of Yorktown, and so be able to provide that housing, not just for our millennials, but for our seniors as well, I think is equally as important. And also our seniors, if they're, I'm looking at the window here on 118, but if our seniors have a place where they can walk to downtown, they also are the ones, frankly, who have a little bit more cash to spend, so to say, right? So they can go and support our local businesses, and they don't have to get in their car and drive where it's all, right at their doorstep. So I also, I can tell you that the town of Yorktown is also trying to keep them in mind as well with some new residential development.
Excellent.
And it's so important with you stressing safety, like you're in the top 100 safe cities. I mean, it's always been like that. You need to have eyes and ears. And if you have people living upstairs over a retail area, you have that. It's all good. My folks actually relocated to San Rafael, California, which I thought was very much like the premise of the Beverly Hillbillies. Like, why are you doing this? But it worked out great. They lived in downtown in a former Bloomingdale's that had been converted into really nice apartments, not senior housing. They don't like being around old people. But, they had their eyes on it. They lived above the courtyard where they had, weekly farmers market and live music. My dad would walk to the bank every day and check on his money. It was a nice way to live, without having, I'm a terrible driver. So anytime I can avoid like parallel parking or getting behind the wheel at all, it's a good thing.
Excellent. Tracy, I know you wanted to add something, and then Bill.
I just have to say, and Elizabeth, I think this was very informative. We have developed a strong team right there in Putnam, so I think that's good. And I really picked up on using the SEO and search engine marketing. We are beginning to do that as well. So Putnam is part of the Hudson Valley Tourism team, which is collaborating, but we're really going to digital, trying to become part of the story. Just on Wednesday, I was at a conference meeting with influencers to really fall in love with our county and get out there and social media and spread the word and actually reach the people. I think social media and influencers are really the way to go right now. But it was nice to hear Elizabeth and feel a little bit confirmed that we're going in the right direction. So thank you.
Thank you. You just sounded a little like Darth Vader. I don't know if everybody else heard it that way, but I got your message. So,
Loud and clear.
I just put in a plug for the IDA. Number one, we are open for business. Kenny, we are waiting, and we've been talking with the folks at the distillery, and we're waiting for them to get some of their, contract work. We're getting the contractors lined up, but we're ready to go with them, and they know that. So we're in position to get them going. I want to give a plug to the to promote the idea that the IDAs don't give away money. They actually bring incentives that are good for the business, but also they don't cost the people per se, because if you get a pilot, you're paying just on the additional amount that's being brought in as far as the value of the property, but they're still paying the base property, plus in most cases, 50% of the new investment. And things like the sales tax exemption is worthwhile. They're still paying for the product, and the sales tax exemption they get gets them started and gets them on the ground so that they can continue and bring in the jobs and the business that we're looking for them to do. We did get the hotel going over the Comfort Inn over in Southeast, and even through this, they opened up, and 3 days later they had to close because of the pause. But then they reopened to take care of essential workers, and they were busy to some degree throughout most of that. And since then, the general manager there has been lining up people from all kinds of venues, the Brewster Ice Arena. There's a couple of horse training centers and stuff like that that are nearby that are looking for things. People are lining up weddings with great expectations for next year. So, I mean, they're busy, plus they're available for emergencies during these power outages and things like that, the storms. They've been able to take care of the incoming out-of-town workers. So it's all to the good. So the IDA is open for business. We're the toolbox for the tourism and the EDC, and we're looking forward to getting things going.
Thank you, Bill. Amy, you have anything you want to add before we close? Unmute her. Well, if you do. And I also have
Sorry, there I am.
Hi, Amy.
Hi. I think it's a very exciting project, Matt. I commend you and the town board for getting this started. I think this is kind of what we've been talking about with the EDC and the Putnam Business Council and IDA and the tourism board getting Putnam on the map. I think it'll be exciting to see where this goes for you guys. Those were a few of my questions. You know, once you do bring people in, how quickly are we going to be able to get them set up? I think that's always been a problem here. If we could streamline that in any way with our respective municipalities, I think that would be amazing. I mean, attracting is one thing, but getting them up and started is another.
Yeah, you know what we've been doing? We've got two significant projects that are going to be coming online, and we've actually set up weekly meetings with all the necessary department heads and the applicant to make sure that we're moving the ball every week down the field. And it's not just sitting on someone's desk for, I've seen, when I walked in, I heard horror stories of these applications that are sitting on, bureaucrat desks for, 8 to 12 months, and everyone's wondering why it's not getting done. Well, that's why. So that's been really well received for obvious reasons. But it's also making sure that, at least from the town's perspective, we're doing everything we can to get that application from A to Z with as little delay as possible.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. And I have also board member Marge Succi and Nat Prentice, if you want to say anything real quick before we thank our guests.
I'm good, Jen.
Okay.
It was really eye-opening and interesting to listen to.
Great. Nat, you have anything you want to add? Well, Nat, you were unmuted. Well.
Okay. Everything's good here, Jen.
Everything's good. Great. I do have some more questions, but I'm going to reach directly out to you guys at Thomson and Fender, and you too as well, Matt. And I've had lots of requests to share this recording, and we will be sharing it on our webpage as well, just to spread that sort of positive action that you guys are doing. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Thomson and Bender.
Thank you very much.
Yes, nice to meet you, Elizabeth and Valerie. Matt will be in touch. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye, Kenny.
Bye, guys. Thank you.